Today I'm talking to Jason Cassity with Compass, a top real estate agent in San Diego. Naming just a few of his accolades, he's been named a Circle of Excellence winner by the San Diego Association of Realtors. He's been named one of San Diego's favorites on the favorite list of real estate agents in the San Diego Union Tribune. He's also been named a rising star by the San Diego Real Producers magazine in the Top Agent magazine nomination. He's also been recognized as one of the 19 agents to watch on social media, according to the Inman Real Estate blog. Jason also has spoken for Inman and one of my favorites, Gary Vee. But most impressive and most important about Jason's business and his career are that he is building and combining a strong team, a strong brand, and strong sales. Today, we talk about how he does it. Thanks for listening to the Jere Metcalf podcast, where top real estate agents tell how they do it. This podcast is to share knowledge for realtors and raise awareness for Give Back Homes, where real estate professionals work together for social good. Jet Centers Aviation, Bentley Atlanta, Legends Global, thank you for your sponsorship. All right, everybody, it's the Jere Metcalf podcast, where top real estate agents tell how they do it. Today, so excited to have Jason Cassity in San Diego. Top real estate agent, powerhouse, been in the business for 6 years and rocking it with some of the best marketing, building a powerhouse team, and you're going to share all of that with us today. Welcome to the show.
All of it. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so give us a little bit to get us started. How did you become an agent? Kind of what led you to be in this business and take us from there?
Yeah, good question. So I moved to San Diego about 9 years ago from Sacramento. I was born and raised there, so those are my only two places on my journey. I was working at a bank. I worked at Wells Fargo. I was a branch manager down here for about 2 years, and I realized that wasn't the path for me. So I actually started looking into real estate. And so I got my license, and I jumped on as an intern actually for a broker here, and that was the start. So 6 years later, I'm now here. I run a team of 8 agents in downtown San Diego, and we work with Compass,
Awesome.
who is and the number 3 company nationally. But
yes,
but just kind of starting here in San Diego. They just moved into San Diego about a year ago, so. We're still kind of a new kid on the block, although nationally we've gotten some cred now.
Yeah, nationally top 3, and we're the number 1 independent broker.
That's right.
In the country, in top 3 in sales volume in the country.
Right.
Pretty exciting. Okay, so tell us a little bit about, so you got in the business. How did you know, and then we'll get into your big fun stuff, but I'd love to kind of get where you were there to get where you are now. But why real estate? Was there a reason why, or was it?
I think initially I was allured in because of the income earning potential. Like when I was thinking about it, before I knew anything about real estate, I was like, oh, this would be a cool thing where you can set your own hours and you can make a ton of money. And then
Isn't
I got
that
into
cute
it.
how everybody thinks that?
Yeah. And then I'm like, actually, you have to work your, wait, can I swear on the show?
Like 24 hours a day.
I don't know if I can swear. So you have to, you have to work your ass off, and it's not 10 to 2. It's actually like, 14-hour days. But once I got into it, I realized that this was for me. I mean, right away, it was fun. You get to meet new people every day. There's really obviously there's no cap on your income earning potential. You can make as much as you want if you work your ass off. Yeah. And that was really right up my alley. So
you can say ass here. I mean, you were on the Gary Vee. What did you do with Gary Vee, by the way?
I spoke at his conference in Miami at the age of 2021.
How many times did he say like fuck on his show? A lot. I've been saying that a lot on our show lately. And I'm not Gary Vee, even though I love him. You figured out creative, income potential, work hard, which you're obviously a hard worker. You're obviously a creative person. You're really great at marketing. Now that I mentioned Gary Vee, maybe too soon, everybody's going to want to know a little bit about that and what you spoke about to Gary Vee. So just give it all to us.
Yeah, for sure. I think so. He does a yearly conference called Agent 2021, where he brings in real estate agents as well as mortgage professionals and like insurance people and car dealers, I think. But it's mostly real estate based, and it's basically a way for real estate agents and mortgage professionals to like market themselves in the year that they live in. So as opposed to, doing bus benches and newspaper ads, here's how you run a targeted Facebook post to your farm, assist it with an Instagram, swipe up ad, and run some YouTube pre-roll in order to grow your brand as opposed to the old school way. So it's an in-depth deep dive into marketing in 2019.
So you spoke at that.
Yeah. I was on a panel in the afternoon with some other top producing realtors about using Instagram influencers to grow both your brand and your sales, to get new business as well. So it was just a cool hour-long panel.
So using Instagram influencers to grow your business, I know he calls it virtual. What does he call that? Virtual, not virtual. Joint, just like joint venture, because we do that in real estate all the time.
Exactly.
And so
the story that I've shared up there and a couple other times, and so hopefully if someone's seen me before, this isn't getting beat to death, but I reached out to, last year I started thinking how I can work my Instagram sphere, which it was a lot of real estate agents. I realized that there was a lot of real estate agents that followed me too, because I put out a lot of content of the real estate world. And so I thought referrals are how I can monetize this. I need to get in touch with people in Miami and Boston and Chicago that would then go to me in San Diego. And so I said, okay, who has the most real estate agents? And so I actually reached out to the Broke Agent, who's a meme account on Instagram with over 100,000 followers, right? And so he has 120,000 followers or something on Instagram. And I reached out to him and I'm like, hey man, I love what you're doing. I would love to get a shout out on your Instagram page, but to do that, I'll actually buy a bunch of your swag. So I bought a bunch of his shirts and I said, I'm going to do a big giveaway on my page of your swag. And then all I need for you to do is shout it out on your page, go follow this guy, he's doing a giveaway. And so it cost me $75 or whatever to buy a couple t-shirts and a hoodie. And then I did a giveaway, but then he on his page gave a shout out, said, hey, go follow this guy, he's doing a giveaway. And then that day I got over 600 new followers just from his following to go follow me. But then what I did is I DM'd all 600 of them, who were mostly real estate agents, because that's his following. And I said, hey, Mark in Boise. Hey, Jerry in Atlanta, Alabama. I said, hey, everybody. And I was and I was genuine about it. I wasn't just canned responses. I was saying, hey, I would look at their page and say, hey, you're a Cubs fan. I'm a Giants fan. What's up? Blah, blah, blah. And then I made hundreds of new connections that have resulted in multiple deals of people who then referred me clients, had seller clients or whatever. Just from that one Instagram influencer.
What a great story.
Yeah. Then it just ended up in real cash, real deals.
And I want to back up to something you said about that too. And I think a lot of times people go into these joint venture marketing or even getting clients or whatever it is we're up to grow our business, and what's in it for me? And we forget so the other person's asking the same thing. And when I heard you position that, I heard there's somebody at Emory that teaches a course on entrepreneurship, but he says in growing a business, but it's whether it's growing a business or just making a deal on promoting one another, it's what can you not say no to? You were asking him, you were to get what you wanted, you were offering him more than you were asking for. How can he can't, he can't say no to that.
Yeah, for sure. You got to, be upfront about what you're trying to do. Obviously I wasn't trying to be sneaky. I'm like, hey, I want you to give me a shout out, but to offset that, I'm going to do something for you. I'm going to provide you value somehow. And it might, for someone else who might not have t-shirts and hoodies to give away, maybe it's, you're going to give them a shout out and you do a shout out for each other, or maybe you go to the local coffee shop in your community and you do a bio on them and then share it on your social media, but then get them to share it on their social media so that their followers learn about you. And then you can, you know what I mean? There's so many ways.
It's so obvious. Well, the thing I love is when I get great stuff like this, that's so obvious. I'm embarrassed that I have to be oh yeah, of course. Because I already even knew that. I just wasn't doing it. But now it's okay, but we're not releasing this episode, Isaac. Isaac's over with everybody until I do it first. Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Because it's really good stuff. No, I love it. So tell us a little bit about, you have so many things going on that are so great that I want to share. I want to talk about, I think we could talk, the two great things I think everybody is burning in their minds or is in mine is, you've given us a lot about your marketing, but going in depth on that. But before we do that, the other thing is your team. So I know you've got a team of 8. Obviously, you're the team lead. You've got an administrative person, and you've got 6 more agents. And you also do have kind of a 9th person because you have a transactional coordinator. So the people on your team, Why are they on your team? How is it structured? Are you feeding them business? Are you marketing them? Or what is your setup to attract, retain? And I know you've organically grown your team. You've not recruited team members. That's what I know, but elaborate on that for us.
Yeah, so the team of 8 has grown organically in the last 9 months or so. So in 2018, I don't know when people are listening to this, but it's April 2019. So in 2018, I added my first agent.
It's June 2019. No, I'm kidding. We don't know when it's going to release.
Whenever we release this, right. But it's 2019. So in 2018, I added my first person who became my assistant as well, but she's an agent. So she gets paid per deal that we close.
Yeah.
Every deal that I close, she gets a portion of, even if she didn't necessarily wasn't part of that, because then she's my assistant as well. So she'll do the projects for me throughout the week and things like that.
Okay.
And then
so does she get a base plus?
No.
Okay, just a percent. Okay, awesome.
Straight up. So, but even if she wasn't involved in the deal whatsoever, so she's going to be, every deal I close, she gets a percentage of, whether or not she helped me or not.
Now, every deal you close or every deal the team closes?
Every deal I close.
Okay.
Yep. And so, because she's my assistant, she's not the team's assistant per se, because she's also her own agent. So she's out producing, closing her own deals and stuff like that too. And then over the last 9 months or so, I've had 6 more people join as organically. So they've just seen what we're doing marketing wise, or we've seen, the systems that we have in place. And they've said, hey, I want to be on a team. I think you'd be a great asset. I want to come to join your team. And we've had to turn some people down, and we, it's not like we just brought everybody in, but I've met with everybody and said, hey, I think you'd be a good addition. Come on in. And we've made it, we made it.
How do you know who the good additions are and who they aren't, who isn't a good addition?
I look for I'd like to look for a sweet spot. I like to look for agents who are doing 3 to 5 deals a year, but I could tell should be doing way more. They're just in the wrong system. Because then they're not the brand new agents. I don't necessarily want to teach you how to write an offer. Although I will, but it's a lot more time than someone who already knows that part, but maybe just isn't producing at the high enough level because of whatever, X, Y, or Z.
Right.
And so with our team, we have an office here. Compass has a downtown San Diego office. It's up about 10 blocks away, but it's a shared office area. And so we wanted our own space. So I rented an office here by the ballpark that for all of our agents. And then we have a website and a CRM and a coaching system and leads that come in. I do a lot of Facebook and Zillow spend. And so basically my team gets a share of all of that in return for part of their split, basically. So that's how the team has grown organically.
So how do you determine who gets what lead?
It depends on the lead source. So Facebook leads are round robin, so they just go in a circle. And then Zillow leads are their jump ball is what we call them. So they're first one to claim it, because those need to be called right away. And then there's certain levels of leads, like our downtown San Diego leads only go to a couple agents, because not every agent in my office knows downtown very well. So the ones that do, I want them taking those leads because they're better suited to answer questions that come in. So I just determine it based on experience in the zip code. But Facebook leads just go in a circle, because we generate 50 to 100 a week, and those are more so longer term nurture leads. So those can just come in anytime.
And when you get so let's say you get a referral or just a client or somebody that comes in that's definitely a client but not a more warm lead, how do you handle that? Do they expect you, or are they okay if you assign them to or do you even or how do you handle that?
No, I ask, and referrals, because now this year our goal is to close 10 referrals via Instagram, specifically this year. But I would probably handle all of those. If someone's reaching out to me via DM and saying, hey, I've got this buyer who's moving to San Diego, I'm going to handle that probably. You know what I mean? Unless there's some real reason why they should handle it or a team member should handle it. I'm still handling that. It's the online colder leads that I give away and let them nurture. But anybody who's coming in through my Instagram DM, I'm going to handle personally, unless it's like one of my team members, my assistant lives in Mira Mesa, which is a community about 20 minutes away. If the lead was looking there, I'd probably give it to her because it just makes more sense. But for the most part, 99% of the time, I'm going to handle that.
Gotcha. So you're growing this team. Tell us about the coach. So you've got a coach in place too that coaches the team, or how does that work?
Kind of. I coach with Steve Scholl, who's he does group sessions, one-on-one sessions, and then he brings in guest speakers and stuff like that into his network, and does one-on-one coaching calls and group coaching calls with the guest speakers. And so my team has access to there's a daily 8 a.m. and a 5:30 p.m. call. the 8 a.m. is an accountability call. They say, you know, there's 100 people on that call and you stay muted. You just listen. And it's like, all right, you know, did you make your 20 contacts today? Did you do this? Did you do this? And where's your mindset at? And then the 5:30 call is a role play call. So they'll say like, hey, this objection came up during a listing presentation. How should we handle that, coach? And then they'll go role play that. Well, my team can listen in on all those calls.
Wow. So the team, so talking about, because I think a lot of people on teams have accountability issues.
Yeah.
How do you get, well, obviously this is part of the answer, because one of my questions was, you're bringing people in that may be experienced enough to know how to write a contract, but new enough that they need some support, or slow enough that they need the support of your team.
Sure.
So you've got your accountability, and then you've got getting them to the next level, which they're both, excuse me, kind of one and the same. Mm-hmm. So so on this coaching, is that a requirement, or is that a perk, or how does that part work on your team?
It's a perk in a sense of like, they don't have to listen to the calls. What I've tried to build is a culture of participation. And obviously it's what I did was I created a team challenge. So I created an Excel sheet that has like 50 activities on it, from holding an open house to, getting a new Facebook lead, to getting a Zillow review, to listening to the coaching call. And each thing is assigned a point. So 2 points for this, 15 points for this. And at the end, and all 7 or all 8 of us, we have a challenge that whoever has the most points at the end of the month wins dinner for 2 to any restaurant in San Diego. And if I win,
I love it.
And if I win, I have to take my wife to dinner to anywhere in San Diego. And that's motivation, because then my wife's on my ass to make sure that I'm winning. And so what that ends up doing is it keeps it. There's no micromanaging. These are all independent contractors. I can't make them come to the office every day, but by having this team challenge, it's keeping everybody engaged with the activities that we know are proven.
And building camaraderie, like friendly competition and camaraderie and culture and things to laugh about.
Like one of my team members, Jacqueline, who's just went to dinner last night because she won the March team challenge, because she did a ton of open houses and crushed everybody else. But that's great for me. I'm glad she did. If everybody can beat me, I would be stoked, because I know I'm going to do about 250 points a month. So if they're beating me, that means they're doing a lot of work, which is great.
Awesome. Okay. So on the 50 activities, how do you know they're doing them?
Well, there's a spreadsheet that we're all on a shared spreadsheet, and you have to update it. And then each week during our team meeting, we have a group meeting on Monday mornings. We recap the previous week, and everybody shares their points on the spreadsheet.
Can I steal this? Will you share your 50 items?
Absolutely.
Like, Isaac, you're emailing them like right now. We got to make sure we do that.
Email me and I'll just share you in, and you can just copy it and then do your own.
Love that.
So I even have it down to like, reading a business related book, like Never Split the Difference. If you read that, you get 20 points. Or if you read a Gary Vee book, you get 20 points. Like, so there's personal.
Never Split the Difference should get 50 points.
That's such a good book.
And all the other books can get 20.
Yeah, that's such a good book. And so we have that on there, even personal growth stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. So, I love Never Split the Difference. Chris Voss, the best. And I think he's on some of your calls, your coaching calls that you do. With,
I just had a coaching call with him on Tuesday.
With Steve. Yeah, I think I had a call with him, but I can't remember if it was Tuesday or maybe it was Wednesday this week, but he's incredible. Everybody who listens to this show regularly knows my obsession with Chris Voss.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So that is genius, because it makes it fun, it makes it inspiring, you're not micromanaging, and it gives them something, it holds them accountable and gives them something to live up to. I love that. So as far as I go, this is what I was going to ask you. So the activities, give us just a few. Like, I know you give us a couple. You've got open houses.
Yeah, we've got holding an open house is the best thing you can do. It's a 15-pointer. You've got even down to getting Zillow reviews, getting a Facebook review, getting a Google review, getting a Realtor.com review. Those are varying points. You have sending. We use Curator, which is a website CRM like combo thing that encourages weekly email newsletters to all your leads and your nurtures. And so if you send your weekly newsletter, that's a certain amount of points. Even down to like coming to the office before 9 a.m., that's 3 points. Being on the morning coaching call, that's 3 points. Being late to a meeting is minus 3 points. And so it goes the other way too.
I can't wait to see this sheet.
Going to our Compass weekly sales meeting up at the Compass office would be 5 points. Like it's basically anything that an agent should be doing every day. That's it. And then you get points for it all. Door knocking, cold calling.
And they keep up with their own scores.
Yeah, they keep up with their own thing. Oh, and then there's a big social media aspect. So posting to Instagram is 3 points. Posting to Facebook is 5 points. Posting to LinkedIn, each day you can do that. Okay, so that I'm encouraging my people to be obviously posting on social media, doing their real estate stuff, calling their leads, emailing their leads, and then coming to the office and coming to the meeting.
So when they're doing the posting, I know some people on teams, you have some teams where you've got the team brand and everybody's off doing their own thing, and then you've got some teams where everybody's on the team and branding. So when you've got them doing newsletters, social media posts, are they branding the team when they do that, or are they? Well,
they always say it's Amanda from the Cassity team at Compass.
Okay, then they're branding the team.
That's branding in an essence, but we don't operate our team like a lot of teams will have all the agents put their numbers into like the top guy's name. I don't like that at all. So everybody keeps their own numbers. So when you're looking, but like we market ourselves as a team. So like our goal is to do 100 deals this year, but as a team. So my goal is 50 deals, and then everybody else has a goal of like 10 to 12 deals or whatever, because they're all newer agents or whatnot. And so our goal is 100 deals, but if you look us up, each person will actually be 10, 10, 10 or whatever it ends up being. And so, but when we're branding, we're going to say the Cassity team did 100 deals. So it's kind of one of those things where they're marketing themselves. In fact, I encourage it. Our vision for the team is to be seen as one of the top real estate teams in San Diego. And then the goal is that each year at the Circle of Excellence, I want to be a platinum team, which is the top producing team for like the local association. Yeah. But I want each agent to also be up on stage as an individual producer. And so I want them creating their own brands as well. And I'm going to get the reciprocal like off of that. I think it's going to be, it's going to make me look good if I have agents who do 3 deals, join me, and then do 15, and then go start their own team. That's a good reflection on me.
Yeah. So another question is, do you ever, well, you just said you want them to come start with you and then start their own team, but have you ever thought about having a team where you're generating so much business, you're able to oversee the team and they generate the deals and you're more of the coach and the mentor and the lead? Or do you always want to be doing the deals?
I don't, at this time in my life, on April 5th, again, I don't know when this is airing, but
everybody is giving away. This is live, everybody. Really, it's live. No. On April 5th of 2019.
In this plan of life, I don't anticipate needing to get out of the business. And so a lot of the top producing agents, especially my coaching network, they're like, I want to remove myself from the business so that it's a well-oiled machine. And I get it. I get that there's people that want to do that, and more power to you. I'm not there yet. And so at this point, I haven't structured my system to be that. Maybe that changes at year 10 or 12 or 15. I don't know.
And that leads me to a question about Gary Vee. We should also give some extra points for reading his books. He's pretty awesome. I love him, who you've spoken for, and everybody's a big fan. But Gary Vee talks a lot about clouds and dirt. He's like, you got to be in the dirt. You got to be able to do the deals. And then you got to be able to come up here. But if you're stuck up here, down here, your business can't grow. Do you think it has a little bit to do with that by being an agent and doing 50 deals, you have that hands-on experience all the time to grow your team?
And then there's that aspect. I'm 6 years in the business. I'm not there yet. That's kind of what I'm getting at a little bit. And the clouds in the dirt is my cloud is that I want to be the #1 team in San Diego. That's it. My dirt is I know how to run a Facebook ad. To you know what I mean?
There's a little more to your dirt than that.
My dirt is I know how to pick up the phone and call a Zillow lead or answer a Facebook leads phone call or something like that. That's your clouds. That's your dirt.
Right. And close a deal.
I know how to close a deal. I know how to write a repair request. So that's the dirt, and you need to put in years of learning that dirt before you can ever start thinking. But you should always have your clouds. But like in the terms of like the scale, like that, that goes like this, I'm like still like right here. I haven't gone way up here yet. I'm really impressed with what you said about, we were talking about the clouds and dirt, but especially like millennials. I know you hate that word, but are you a millennial? Yeah, I'm a millennial. Well, I mean, that's even more impressive because everybody don't judge. I'm a Gen Xer. But millennials are like, oh yeah, like I was born, I'm going to rule the world. And it's like, wait a minute, like how about a little experience on how to do it first? And you're just there. You're like, no,
I'm going to do this. I'm going to learn this. Now I'm the opposite. I'm doing this and learning it. And I'm like, God, it'd be cool to be up here. But wait, I've got to I don't want to ever lose touch with what it means to do a deal because this business changes so quickly.
I always felt like to be a successful CEO of a company. I thought about this back when I worked at the bank. I'm like, the best CEO should know how to be a teller and a banker and a serviceman. You know what I mean? Because how else can they really manage to all of those roles without at least knowing what they do? And so as a real estate agent, I mean, there's guys who have been in the business for 30 years. I'm in a market in San Diego with some of the best real estate agents in the country. Yeah. But they've been at it for 30 years. I can't compare myself to them right now. Yeah. I can have them be where I want to be, but they've forgotten more than I know.
Well, and I was going to say, I'm thinking of two different things to quote, but on that, Malcolm Gladwell, David and Goliath, sometimes what appears to be, you know, did you read David and Goliath, the book, Malcolm Gladwell? Mm-hmm. So there's this whole, you know, the story in the Bible, David who shoots Goliath.
Oh, yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Right, and everybody assumes like, wow, David, like he was like this little young guy and he like killed the giant. And Malcolm Gladwell's like, well, this is what you guys were missing. Of course he did, because back then, if you were a giant, it's because you had whatever disease, which means you can't see well and you can't move quickly. And David was this young little guy who had this, and there were these guys who could do these slingshots with accuracy, of course. So it's back to, I always tell, especially when agents are brand new in the businesses, you know, as agents get bigger, like you said, these agents have forgotten a lot of things, or they're not learning as quickly because they're not as uncomfortable. So they're kind of become Goliaths. Yeah. Even though we got a lot of those mega agents on the show and they're awesome, but I think it's just an interesting perspective to keep what you said. And the other thing about, you were talking about transactions and working people and doing deals, is that it is going back to Chris Voss. He quotes in his book, I can't remember the guy's name in Chris's book that he quotes, but he talks about, we are just in dealing with motivating people and working with people, and the CEO should have, you know, if you're going to be a CEO, you need to understand the job of every role, and you need to have actually done it. So I think it's not just an operations thing, it's an empathy thing, because we're not just thinking, I forgot who did the quote, but Chris quotes him in his book, but we're not just thinking beings that feel, we're feeling beings that think. So until you can have been in that role and know what it even feels like and be a leader who empathizes with that, it's very hard to be an inspiring, motivating leader, which you obviously are with your 50 activities and point system and all that good stuff.
Trying.
Awesome. How did you come up with that?
I wish I could help you. I don't know.
He's talent, people. Talent. Applied talent. Executed.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was one day where I was just like, obviously I can't, again, these are independent contractors. I can't tell them what to do every day, but they asked, they're here for a reason. They came and joined my team for a reason. And so it's more so like, well, what did I do every day for 5 years to get to the level that I'm at? Well, let me just put it down, and then I'll assign importance to it, and then make it, you know, gamify it a little bit.
And it gives a little bit of that, you know, where they're not thinking beings that feel, they're feeling beings that think. They've got to feel like doing it, and that's something that naturally motivates and inspires and creates this compounding camaraderie of fun competition for these guys to succeed. Yep. That's awesome. So now we're going to talk a little bit about your marketing. So you tapped into that when you talked about Gary Vee and some of the things you're doing, but and I've got notes everywhere that I've taken for you, so now I can't find. But you talked about your social media and some YouTube and the Instagram scroll up ads. Kind of walk us through how that works.
Yeah, so I think we were talking about. In essence, the macro of what we were talking about was that we found a way to marry social media and then the farming or sending out mailers, because there's kind of old school stuff that you do that is proven to be successful, like sending out mailers and all that type of stuff, door knocking, networking. But then there's the social media angle. But a lot of people just think of the social media angle as, I'm just going to put some stuff on Facebook and then some of my friends will interact and then that's it. But really, there's a way to utilize this to really marry the two together. So we send out mailers. I send about 1,500 mailers each month to 3 different neighborhoods, and those are my farms, I guess you'd say. Mm-hmm. And so what we do is we send out a mailer with some market stats, or go to this URL to get the value of your home, or blah blah blah. But then what we do is the week or the 2-week radius around when we send those mailers, we also run a market update video on Facebook targeted to that zip code, which now you can't do zip codes anymore, but you can do it. You just drop a pin and create that neighborhood. And then we also run it on YouTube as the pre-roll ad. And so that'll be like the ad you see before you watch a YouTube video. So you can actually have it, and then, you know, it goes 15 seconds in and people can skip it or whatever, but you only get charged for that when people watch 30 seconds or more of that video.
Oh.
So when you run that to your zip code on Google, we just run an ad that says, and what we usually do is we'll actually have the mailer piece. I'm here in my office. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So this is a mailer piece. I know the lighting's bad, but that we did.
I love how conscientious you are of that.
Downtown San Diego, right? And basically, it's a mailer piece. And so we'll run an ad that says, hey, YouTube, what's up? It's Jason Cassity. Have you gotten our mailer yet? If not, stay tuned. It'll be there soon. But in the meantime, if you want to get a free valuation of your home, just click the link below, and it'll take you to our custom webpage. Thanks. All right? And it'll be something like that.
And that's your ad?
That ad is going to run on YouTube right before someone watches a video, right? And it's basically, and it's like pennies per view. And so like that is a branding 1-2 play that, I mean, and you can target on Google, only show this ad to people who have searched real estate related keywords in 92101, which is our zip code. And then that's it.
Wow.
And then you can also do it on Instagram, same way, but it'll be like in the Instagram stories where it's like, hey, Instagram, what's up? It's Jason Cassity. Did you get our mail yet? No, if not, stay tuned. It'll be there soon. In the meantime, just swipe up and go to our custom mobile landing page. And then you can only run that ad to people in your zip code. In the zip code. Who have searched for Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, Realtor.com, or what Facebook considers as house hunters. You can run that to that zip code. Now, again, no more zip codes now that they're getting sued for discrimination, but you can drop a pin and just do a radius.
Wait, so zip codes are discriminating?
Yeah.
I'm not even knowing there. Right.
This is, again, I can't say the date that we're filming this, but they just announced that the HUD is suing Facebook for housing discrimination ads. And so they took away the ability to target an ad by zip code. But all you do is you can drop a pin on the zip code. And just
well, you used to be able to target by income, and you can't do that anymore.
Correct. All of it. They took away income, they took away zip codes, and they took away race and ethnicity, which is good. They should have never had that anyway, probably. But and so they took all that away, and Facebook's being sued right now. I'm sure they'll settle it.
Facebook is always being sued.
Yeah, correct. I mean, it's whatever. I mean, but it used to be really easy because I would target a specific zip code because that's where I farmed, not necessarily, you know what I mean? But now I have to just drop a pin and create the thing instead of using
I remember that now. I'd forget, but you're right because I have old whatever you call those, your audiences that are in zip codes or that are even, because now you can still choose like the top. There's one that's like the top 10% income bracket or different income brackets in Zillow, but you can't market. I can't market to them. You can market something to them, but not houses.
You can't do housing related.
Right, because if I've got a $5 million listing, I think someone that makes $100 a year should buy it. Makes sense, right?
You basically, so you can sell a T-shirt.
Isaac might have to edit this out, but he's not going to. But then go ahead.
You can sell a T-shirt or a widget or water bottles or something. You can do that, but you can't do housing related because of the housing and urban development, the laws. But it's because of it's because I could see how this could be an issue if I said run this ad to everybody but 9 to whatever, which happens to be a minority heavy zip code, and so like show it to everybody but them. That could be an issue. You see how people could abuse that, like.
Right.
That's where the problem comes in.
They can show all the ads to everybody but me, and I will not be suing them for discrimination. I can promise you that.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing is you may not know, but
I don't really mind. I don't need. I'm everywhere all marketed to anyway, right? Like y'all can leave me out of that. But again, I have to be careful. This is not a political show. It's not supposed to be. Jason, look at what you've gotten me into now. I'm probably turning red. Filter me out. They filter me out. Nobody see the red blushing, right?
Someone get a fan on her.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's what I or filter out the sweat.
There you go.
Okay, so where were we? So in addition to that, so you've got Facebook boosts. scroll, do they all, like, so the Facebook, because I know Facebook and Instagram integrate a lot. Do you integrate those two with the swipe up ads, or are those two separate things? Are they the same?
Well, they're separate. We build our content for the platform specifically. So like, because Instagram Stories is a vertical platform, if you're on your phone,
that's right.
It's in vertical. So we shoot the video in vertical and we say, hey, Instagram, because you want to make that connection, swipe up. That's something you do on Instagram. So
it's all separate.
YouTube would be a horizontal
that's right.
film. Okay. And then we would say, hey, YouTube, click the link, because they don't swipe up on YouTube, they click the link. So we shoot individually for each platform.
Okay. And then for Facebook?
It would be horizontal, and we would say, hey, Facebook, click the link.
Okay, gotcha.
Because you want to break the fourth wall. On a good ad, you want to break the wall and say, hey, you, user, or whatever.
So they listen.
Whatever you're doing right now, wherever you are. So, hey, you're on YouTube, stop what you're doing, click this link if you're interested in what we have to offer. If not, cool, go ahead and watch a video.
Gotcha. And how long are those videos usually? Are they 30 seconds? Because you said you're not charged unless they listen to it for 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds. So we try to keep the YouTube pre-rolls under 30 seconds, because then if we got charged, it means we know that they saw the whole thing.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. What other marketing can you share with us that you like to do?
We buy a lot of Zillow leads just here in locally downtown, here in San Diego, which is fine. That's not really marketing. I'd consider that more sales. Right. We do a lot of Facebook lead ads as well, which is also sales. That's right. Not marketing as much as it is sales. You put out $1 and you get 3 back. You know what I mean? Like that's not really. It doesn't take a lot of skills.
So you buy leads. Yeah.
Yeah, we buy leads for sure.
So you buy leads from Facebook and buy leads from Zillow.
Yeah. Okay. Facebook and Zillow, and then a little bit of Google pay-per-click. Somebody searches downtown San Diego condos. I want them to see our ad. So that's all. I consider that sales. And then I consider this half marketing, which is branding ourselves.
I was going to say branding, positioning, all of that good stuff.
Yeah, so we do a lot of agent-centric content. So like I vlog. So I have a videographer that follows me around for an entire day.
So show everybody, keep going. Finish what you're saying, because I want.
Yes. So, and then what we'll do is we'll take that vlog and then we'll cut it up into smaller videos, but then we'll target that across my Instagram and Facebook following. In order to more deepen those relationships with other agents that I referred to earlier in the conference or in the call, is to make agent referral.
So you have a video guy follow you around for a day, and then you just divide that video up into how many? 10 videos?
Usually what I do is I just put it out the whole. So when I spoke at Agent 2021, I flew him to Miami with me, and we documented the entire weekend, or the entire 2 days.
Yeah.
And then just yesterday, or 2 days ago, Tuesday, he was with me, and we did a hard hat tour at a new development here in downtown San Diego. And then we went to a marketing meeting, and he just followed me around, and I was mic'd up, and he followed me around for a day. And so what we'll do is edit that out into a video of kind of a day in the life type thing. And then we market that out. We put it out to both our sphere, and then we also target a bunch of real estate agents who I've made connections with throughout the years. And so people are like, it's like a little reality show. It's like $1 Million Listing. You know what I mean? In essence. And so people like that a lot, the vlog status. Yeah.
That's awesome. And then you feed that out over how much time? If you're gonna make
I'll run ads to it for a week after I release it.
And how often do you do that?
What's that?
How often do you do those?
Once a month.
So what I've figured out so far is you've got a social media marketing, and you've got marketing and what you call sales, but you've got branding and buying leads.
Yeah.
And on the social media end, you've got the YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. On the sales side, you've got buying Zillow leads, and you're buying Facebook leads. And then you've also, in addition to that, in your marketing world, you're doing these videos where you might go on a trip, somebody follows you, mics you, gets you for a day, and then you edit that out into several videos.
Yeah.
That you release out over time. And you also, on the end of your branding and marketing, you're putting out to neighborhoods, you're sending out 15 mailers a day.
1,500 mailers
1,500 mailers a month. I don't know where that came from.
the mailers. Yeah. So mailers, they're actually one of my best return on investments as a real estate agent.
Really? I've never heard anybody say that ever. Say that again and then tell us how.
Mailers are one of my best return on investments as a real estate agent. So
everybody got that?
For the 5 years that I've been doing, or I guess 6 years I've been in real estate, my first couple of years I didn't really do a ton of marketing though. So the last 3 or 4 years, mailers are amazing ways to generate seller leads, obviously, because in essence, not a ton of people are doing them anymore. But B, what you can do is obviously you send your mailer and it's got some, I know the lighting's bad, but it's got some stats over here, whatever, market stats. And then on the back, I just write a little blurb that's like, hey, downtown San Diego, March was great, whatever I say.
Yeah.
And then I have a custom URL that says www.soldaticon.com or soldindowntown.com or whatever.
Right.
And then they can go to that URL. And then on that page is some of my listing videos that I've done, maybe an episode of my vlog, a place where they can type in their address and get a free home valuation.
Right.
But people will take this and then go to the digital version of it, and then they'll enter their information, and then you just stay in touch with them.
Genius. And on those, staying in touch with them, you have an automated program that kind of feeds them information out once a month?
Kind of, yeah. We do have a CRM. We use Follow Up Boss. And so when a new lead comes in, especially a Zillow or Facebook lead, like an online lead, they get an automatic action plan put to them, which includes texts and emails. And that goes automatically until they respond back, and then we get a ping that says so-and-so responded back. Go ahead and pick it up manually now, and then we'll call or text.
Yeah, once they respond, then you've got to get manual, or it's
correct. Yeah, and it pauses the action plan automatically and says, hey, call this person.
And then once you pick up, and now it becomes kind of more of a real, the relationship has begun. How do you make sure that stays consistent? Do you have a schedule or a program that you put the agent on, and where does it go from, like when you get a lead, do you convert it and hand it off, or do the agents, is it their job to come in and take it?
No, it's their job to take care of it, because that would be, I can't take in all the leads. We generate about 100 plus Facebook leads a month. And there's no way I could call or I could pick up that phone every time. So that's the perk of being here and getting all those leads. I pay for them, and then those would get like on a better split for me, because I paid up front for the cost. It'd be almost like they would get their normal split plus they'd give off a referral fee. So, but they're getting leads for free every day. Every day their phone, and they got a new lead. Now it's their job to nurture them to the finish line.
Now, do you have any kind of accountability to, do you ever have every agent that's getting these leads, are they following up, or is there ever any challenge?
I could venture to say that I have some agents that probably close at a higher rate than others or whatnot, but for the most part, you wouldn't. I don't know enough, and this might be a fault, that I don't look at every lead and say, hey, why didn't you call this person 4 times instead of 3 times?
Exactly.
Yeah, I gotta trust that the people that are taking the leads are doing a good enough job, or else they shouldn't be on the team. Probably it's more so like, and so there's an accountability angle in the sense that each week I review my campaigns from the previous week, and I say, okay, we generated 42 leads. 6 of them are getting pre-qualified. That's good. Or 2 of them are getting pre-qualified. How come that's low? Was it the lead's fault, or was it our follow-up's fault? And then we can kind of like adjust accordingly.
And so you keep on top of who's being qualified through Follow Up Boss?
Yeah, I can see through Follow Up Boss, like how many calls are made, who's being contacted.
Follow Up Boss has been coming up a lot lately. I've never heard Follow Up.
I've seen it as, now Compass just bought Contactually.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't be surprised
what I've always used.
Yeah, and the reason I use Follow Up Boss is because it's tied in with Curator, which is our website. So it's like a website CRM marriage. Yeah. But if Contactually makes Compass CRM better, then I could see us at some point maybe moving over and using Contactually. But right now, Follow Up Boss is just a little bit better than Compass's CRM. So I've been using it because I need to for my business. But I hope Contactually makes Compass's CRM better.
Well, I was using Contactually, and I think there's a lot of different, like Contactually is more reminding you and getting you to do stuff, and they have programs in there, but you can feed them out individually. But it's hard to, I'm trying to find like a loophole to get the programs to work on a team a little better, but that's a whole nother topic. Okay, so now you're checking your phone, weren't you? You're busted.
My watch.
I'm kidding. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. That's even worse. I think that's worse, Isaac. I
noticed it was.
Are you bored?
I hadn't adjusted it for daylight savings time.
Right. Oh, don't admit that. And we're not editing that out. We are not editing that out.
I use my phone and I don't even look at my watch. And I just realized right now that I didn't set it.
Oh, at least he's got an excuse. Okay. So now, I'm going to close this out, but this is way too much fun. I just want to keep going. But I want to know from you, and everybody knows what mine is, and we've already brought it up, but what is the book that you would recommend we read that's most impacted your business? Any book, but just one. It could be whatever. You can give us a novel, maybe rather not.
Okay, hold on. So you've already said Never Split the Difference multiple times on the show, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going to say that.
Would you say that if I hadn't said that? Because we kind of like that book. I'm really putting him on the spot.
Here's
it's
the
in
deal.
your top 5. It's my top 1, your top 5.
It is in my top 5, and it is honestly, as a real estate agent, it should be required reading. Yeah. I do think that some of the core concepts in that book are, and I mean this in a nice way, are advanced negotiating tactics, and there's some 101 stuff. So if you're a newer agent, maybe don't start with Never Split the Difference. There's probably some 101 stuff about like how to win friends and influence people. Maybe you read that first before you take an emotional approach like Never Split the Difference. Right. But I think I'm going to cheat. I'm going to say 2. Okay. So
I love that. I love it.
First would be Crush It by Gary Vee, which is Gary Vee's first book. And the reason it's crazy to say that's an old book. And so it even talks about like Tumblr and all these things that aren't around anymore.
And things that he anticipates about the market too that aren't all right. They're kind of, he's kind of off.
And so he's written like 5 books since then. But the reason I say Crush It, because the core concept of Crush It is that you're not a real estate agent. You're a media company that happens to sell real estate. And if you can get that, it changes the whole way you market yourself on social media. Yep. And so I think the core concept of that book is the most important thing marketing-wise that you can learn when you're starting to talk about building your brand, which any real estate agent should be doing, period. Really any professional, but any real estate agent.
So before you give us the second, because I have to talk about Gary Vee and his book, have you listened to the Audibles version?
No.
Or the audio version? Have you listened to it?
No, I don't do audiobooks. I should.
But I'll tell you why, and then we'll move on. Obviously, I love Gary Vee too. Because I've listened to 3 of his books, and when he does, it's him reading it, which is awesome. But the funniest part is he's reading and he'll stop. He'll go, okay, guys, you know how he is. I'm going to ad-lib for a minute here. When I wrote this is what I meant, and just so you know, and he goes, okay, and then he starts reading it again.
That's awesome.
So you're getting like more more insight into what's already in the book and edited and whatever. Awesome. So yeah.
That's awesome. That is probably single-handedly the most influential book that I read, and that was early on. And obviously all his other books are great too, but that book, if you can get that concept, you'll do really well. Okay, awesome. It makes me want to read it again. Is The Conversion Code by Chris Smith. And what Chris Smith is, and that's just kind of a shameless plug because he owns Curator, which is my website, CRM Combo, but he wrote the book on basically generating internet leads and converting internet leads. And so it's called The Conversion Code. And the first half of the book is how to set up audiences on Facebook and how to generate leads. The second is basically the perfect sales call on how to convert an internet lead to an appointment. What is the perfect sales call? Well, I interrupted you. He actually has a chapter called The Perfect Sales Call. It's like a 12-step thing. And if you can practice that, there's scripts in it. You will be, if you can get Gary Vee's branding message and Chris Smith's tactical skill and marry it, you would be unstoppable. Well, then you can bring in Never Split the Difference. And then Chris Voss can come in. And then you are the triangle of success. So what I find interesting about your 2 books, and tell me if I'm on this, is Crush It is, you talked about marketing, Crush It's the marketing end of your business. You talk about marketing and sales. And Conversion Code is more of the sales, which you talk about marketing and sales, and Conversion Code is probably where you apply the sales to your business. One question about that book, and then I'm going to give you the 2 more. On the Conversion Code, the perfect sales call, what does the perfect sales call look like? Are these cold calls or are these... No. It's just, so that's kind of the cool part too, is I hate cold calling. And I get it that there's people who crush expireds and crush stuff like that. Right. It's just, it makes my skin crawl. I'm not sure if people crush that. Well, I'm going to find somebody who crushes them and get them on the show, but go ahead. Because I don't know. There's a couple Compass agents here in San Diego that crush like hundreds of deals per year on expireds. But is it on expired calls or perhaps an approach and a strategy? Those are 2 different things. Yeah, it is a little. At least it's a little bit more, but they circle dial and they call expireds, and more power to them. Like crushing. So tell us about the perfect sales call. But this perfect sales call is basically when you get an online lead. So someone who's raised their hand and said, "I'm interested in whatever it is." Right. It's a 12 steps, and I'm gonna fail miserably because I can't recite all 12 steps because it's actually in depth. But there's all these so the first call would be the pre-call stalk, and you're supposed to Google that person's email address. And then you can see stuff about them so that when you call up, you know who you're talking to a little bit. And you can flatter the person a little bit before you start the call. Now, you know what I mean? On top of that, I don't talk about this much, and I don't even have it. And I probably should. There's no telling what it says about me.
Have you ever heard of crystal nose? So crystal nose is this thing it kind of freaks me out. So you can get this program. I tried it for a few days and then I should have kept it. It'd be like Chris Voss's book a little bit, like adding some ammunition or to what he does. Crystal nose will give you by Google's tracking your emails or whatever, it can tell people what your personality's like. So you get an email from somebody, you're drafting an email back to them, and if you'll write an email and it will say, you need to shorten this up, you need to bullet point, this person's more emotional, this person is more, this person's more to the point, this person's storyteller, or like you'll write it and say you need to take some emotion out, or I don't remember, but it like gives you tips on how to draft your email so the other person will be receptive.
That's
and what they're like to deal with.
Have you seen any of the Black Mirror
I've
episodes?
seen one and I was really like, it was too weird.
That's some Black Mirror stuff to me. Like it's getting there to where like we can predict how people are based on their previous email history. Or something. So
Richard Silver, he's an agent in Toronto. He showed that to me. And it was funny because he and I are very different. I'm more shiny object, warm and lovey, and he's more very, almost like he's very sweet and emotional, but he runs his business. He's a little bit more streamlined, and I'm a little bit more engaged. And he's like he's one of these guys who's got all the agents under him, and I'm one of these guys who's got a team, but whatever. But we have very different. But that's not the point. The point is, we have very different personalities, but we click really well. So he pulls Crystal Nose up and he shows it to me, and he's like, look, and he talks about how the way that he is and the way that I am, and the way he drafts emails and I do, and then it says what we would be like if we met. And it talks about how we would be kindred spirits, and even though we're very different and he's more pragmatic and I'm more, kind of an intuitive, that we would be really great, and we would have a fun, special friendship. And I was That's like, awesome. And we do. And I was like, that is so weird. That is so weird. Like Black Mirror. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Like, I thought you were my bud, but this is just weird Black Mirror stuff. Except I didn't use that word.
I just wrote it down. Crystal Nose.
Crystal Nose. And I haven't used it. I probably should because it's that powerful. But I'd love to know what you think about it. So anyway.
I just wrote it down.
Back to interviewing you. So I asked you for the book. And then the next thing was, what is the one tool that you find most powerful in your business?
Instagram.
Why Instagram?
It's just the scale that you could connect. Again, my 2019 basically like priority is meeting other agents to create a referral network of referrals, to grow my business. So Instagram's the best way.
And that story you gave us in the beginning. Yeah, I know. Thank goodness for Instagram. Okay.
Exactly.
If there's one thing, if like you're, short attention span world, if there's one thing that you want to make sure we remember from this interview, me and everybody listening, what would you hope that would be if we're going to forget everything else?
That you're a media brand that sells real estate. You're not necessarily a real estate agent. So if you take that back to the clouds and the dirt aspect, you can have your goals. Don't forget how to run a Facebook ad or how to cold knock or door knock or how to answer the phone, right? So you need to know all of those things before you can start thinking about that. But the way to get there is you start to think of yourself as a media brand that happens to sell real estate. So everything you do is putting out value, putting out content, putting out all this stuff so that people think of you when they have a real estate need, not selling real estate per se. There's nothing we can do. We're not that good. We cannot make someone buy a house if they're not ready to buy a house. We cannot make someone sell a house if they're not ready to sell a house. But what we can do is be top of mind every day for 5 years so that when they're ready to sell their house, they think of us before they think of somebody else.
And we don't need to make people buy houses because there are enough people out there that want to.
Yeah, that's it. Everybody every client you have knows probably 5 real estate agents. It's just that's just the case. So what are you going to do to make them think of you instead of the other 4?
And to refer you.
Right, and then refer you. Yeah, then you get those evangelists who refer you. Those are the best.
That's the better advantage. The better advantage is just getting all those referrals, which is what you're tapping into now.
That's it. Yep.
You're awesome. Thank you, Jason. That's a great interview.